guys? So we're back with more GTA 5 and some stories, pretty much. I mean, I found like just telling stories the best thing to do while playing GTA. More the fact that I don't want to bother people online, and I've already beaten the story mode, and I don't really care for the story mode. I'm gonna be honest with you about that one. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my cup of tea. But anyway, I feel like now is a perfect time. Well, I mean, any time is a perfect time for me to tell you a very interesting story from what school was like for me, basically. So it's not really much of a story, more of me talking about what it was like for me to going to school and everything. So I've been out of high school for a while. I graduated back in 2014. So it's been a good 6 years since I've been in high school. Well, more in public school. I mean, I did drop out of college later that year. Or the year after that. I don't remember. But anyway, the important part was pretty much talking about, like, well, what school is like. So I get there my freshman year, and they pretty much tell you, okay, you need this many credits to graduate. I think it's like 42. And then they told me, you know, what's required. You need Algebra 1, informal or formal geometry, Algebra 2. I think that's all the math that you needed. I don't think you were required to take any other form of math class your senior year. So for all those that took trigonometry and calculus, and yeah, I hope you had fun, because I did a little bit of trigonometry, I did some calculus, and good for you guys. Take an entire class of it. But that's not the point. Then let's go back to what the point is. The point is basically, you know, what classes we need. Then we need ELA 1, 2, and 3, then senior ELA. Which, the best part about senior ELA is not only is it an every other day class, it's only a one semester class. So, yeah. That's the only good part about it. Then you need to get fine arts and practical arts credits. I don't remember what the difference was. I think fine arts were like, you know, like the actual... But it's like fine arts, I guess, would be like your art classes, and your practical arts would be pretty much anything, like any class that you would use in a practical sense, like anything you'd use outside of school. And then you needed freshman PE, which at our school you could take freshman PE and health during summer school, and then you wouldn't have to take it during the school year. And it would count as full credit. That's what a lot of people did. And then you had to take one more gym class. And I found that because I didn't take any band classes, because band class is kind of the same as like those, you know, drawing and artsy, you know, classes. They're the same credit. So I had to take a class basically like drawing. I took that my senior year because I pushed that till the end, because I don't like to draw. I already was over this in my last Grand Theft Auto gameplay. Alright, sorry about that. But anyways, and I didn't like taking gym classes, so I took freshman PE during summer school, and then I took my other gym class my senior year, which I don't know why I just waited to take that, because if I took that, then I would have realized gym was not that big of a deal. I mean, the only thing that I hated about it was actually having to wear shorts. I just don't like wearing shorts. But anyways, and I can tell you that story in a little bit. But anyways, so all I did during that gym class was just walk around. Like, we could do anything as long as it was some form of exercise. And fun fact, walking around for 30 minutes, well, actually I think it was an hour. But anyway, so because I wanted to avoid taking gym classes and art classes, I basically stuck with the leftover classes. So I took keyboarding because I need to take keyboarding, but I took keyboarding again. I think it was because of two reasons. One, it was an easy class, and two, I already took it, but it didn't count, even though just because I took it in middle school. But anyway, the class is really simple. They give you a textbook and you just go through it during the class, and that's it. And your main goal is to learn how to use a keyboard without looking at it, which it was very simple. Like, before the class was like, I mean, the entire semester was over with, I already had the book already completed. I already did every single page of that book. And that was just my second time doing it. And because the teacher let us go at our own pace, I was done with that book halfway through the semester. So the rest of the time, I just convinced her to let me play games and stuff on the computer. Well, I told her more mess around on the computer and stuff, because she was like, well, you can't play games because, you know, the school has it blocked. There were some websites that you could easily go to and play games as long as you knew what you were doing. So I played games that were like shooting zombies and stuff like that. Happy Wheels, that was a big one. But anyway, I also took like business classes. I took basic business, I took accounting 1 and accounting 2. Then I took marketing and management, like a business management class. And with all of that, I also took like an EMR class, which for those of you that don't know what an EMR is, it is emergency medical responder. It basically means like you're just like a first responder. Like, let's put it into a tier list. You have like at the bottom of your tier people who don't know. But anyways, so your bottom tier would be people who don't know like any form of like first aid and stuff like that. Above that would be basically people who know basic first aid. So like, you know, let's just say how to take care of a, you know, small wound and the Heimlich maneuver and stuff like that. Then you got your EMRs, which are people who have some form of actual education in being a first responder on an accident. Now basically,
don't say anything.
You'll learn how to use like those shock pads, not like the manual ones, but they have like an automatic one. Defibrillators. You'll learn how to use an automatic defibrillator. Then you'll learn the Heimlich maneuver, You'll learn, pulse, heart rate, stuff like that. Then you'll learn CPR, and you have to get CPR certified to get your EMR certification. And a lot of different stuff. Then you have like your EMTs, then your paramedics. And interesting fact about the EMR class, my senior year, which is when I took it, I actually sat down with the person that was in charge of the EMR class, and basically we were going over my IEP with the school, which I think we needed like a teacher, and then we need like I think a couple teachers, a school counselor, my mom, and he just happened to be one of them. But anyways, he brought up that they were actually thinking about canceling the EMR program, and I was very shocked about that. Like, one of the things that I learned from it was, not just only, like CPR and everything, but
Hey, I'll see you at the accordion workshop.
but basic first aid too. Now I don't know if you know Dave from Boy in the Band, but he did a song called "Don't Say It in School," and it's where he talks about the syllabus and how there's a lot of problems with it and how we need to make changes to it. And I agree completely. And one of the things that I actually learned was basic first aid. I learned not only just basic first aid, but I learned enough first aid that I can literally be there to help somebody if they're in like a serious car accident. Now, I'm not going to say that I can do like anything that a paramedic can do, because they have more training than I do. But if there's an accident or like an injury or something, I have the knowledge to help. And that was one thing that kind of upset me when I heard that they were canceling it, was because I learned so much, and not only did I learn something that I found interesting, but I learned a actual useful skill. I brought that up to him, and he said, well, I mean, it's one of those things that it's like, he's like, I'm glad that you actually like the class, and I'm glad that you learned something that you deem useful. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, it's also really hard because the person teaching it was a paramedic. That was literally the only person that could teach it as a paramedic. And it sucked. But I think they might still have the program. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I took a lot of business classes and a lot of other classes just to avoid it. And one class that I took to completely avoid it, like art and gym entirely, that I really loved, was mythology. Now, my high school had a mythology class, and we went over Greek and Roman mythology and a little bit of Egyptian mythology. But it was just due to the fact that the class was so short. It was only a one semester class every other day. But the teacher, screw it, I'm going to say his name, Mr. Upchurch. He was literally the coolest teacher. And he taught mythology. And not only did he teach it in a way that was entertaining, but he taught it in a way where I actually wanted to learn more about mythology. And I actually read up on Greek mythology, Roman mythology, not really that much Egyptian mythology, because that was just one thing I didn't get really invested in. But anyway, and it was like one of the greatest classes that I ever took. But yeah, that was pretty much like my whole high school life. I mean, I didn't really do much. I slept a lot. And when I mean I slept a lot, I mean in my yearbook, I got voted most likely to sleep through life. That was my senior personality. And apparently it wasn't even that close of a competition. They give you a list, like, for all of you who don't know how senior personalities work, there are these different groups, and then every senior votes, and they vote for one guy, one girl. And basically they give you like a list of names of guys and girls for each category. Well, apparently I won by a landslide. Like, apparently if you tallied up everyone else's votes, they wouldn't even come close to mine. But yeah, that was basically my high school career. I mean, not too much bad to say, not too much
Yes,
good.
we're open. You're
But
terrifying. Just give me a second.
one thing that I didn't mention is the story of
I can't go any faster. Please.
why I didn't like wearing shorts. So, this was about middle school. And for all of you that know me,
I hope you sleep well tonight.
know that, well, I grow hair very slowly. Facial hair, I don't even grow a lot of that. But anyway, so I was wearing shorts one day, and it was because it was like warm. And when I mean warm, I mean it was like up there. I think it was like 32 Celsius. I don't know, this was like forever ago. This was like 7th grade. Remember, I graduated 6 years ago. But anyway, I got mocked for, not having hair on my legs, which I know is one of those things that, really, that's it. And I mean, when I look back at it, I'm like, that's not that big of a deal. Who really gives a shit? And like, he was like, oh, so it's like, what, you shave your legs? Are you gay or something? Which back then I wasn't like openly out. I think I was probably out to a few friends, but I wasn't even out to my family or out to people at school. So I kind of got really defensive. And I said no, and I just told him I don't shave my legs and I'm not gay. Which, when I look back on it, I do actually regret it. I mean, I would have still told him that no, I don't shave my legs, but I would have told him that yeah, I'm gay, so what? Actually, had that moment where, I was just being me from once. Like, I didn't lie about who I was, and I could finally feel comfortable about who I am. But you also remember, like, this is 7th grade. Pretty much everyone just wants to blend in and, well, not really blend in, but stand out and be popular. And how can you really stand out and be popular? Well, this is how I thought. I was like, how can I stand out and be popular if people think I'm gay? Which I know is a stupid way of thinking about it, but I was like young.
Why, hello.
And I didn't really think too much about stuff like that. I just wanted to pretty much, like I said, be popular and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much how high school was for me. That's also why I don't wear shorts. And can we fit another story in? Yeah, we can fit another story in. Why not? This one is actually going to be about a time I actually told one of my managers off. Because anybody that works customer service, whether it's fast food or retail, knows how bad a lot of the managers suck. And I don't mean like suck as in they just, are terrible at their job, but they're also just a piece of shit person on top of that. So, for this one, we're going to name her Hannah. Okay? So, but first let's go ahead and go over, the different titles or positions that you can get at McDonald's. So, basically you have your trainee, someone who just started. You have your crew member, someone who's been there a little bit longer and can be in certain areas by themselves. You have your crew trainer, which is somebody that, But anyway, after crew trainer, you have what is now known as zone, which is basically a bullshit position. If you want to know about zone, it's basically a made-up position that is like, well, we don't want you to quit. Here, we'll give you manager numbers, and that's it. And you don't have to wear a hat, and you get a little bit more power, which nobody will listen to anyways, because no one gives a shit. Trust me, I know, because I had this arbitrary position, and I'm glad when they fired me and then just let me come back without the position. But anyway, then you have your shift managers. They're basically just like actual managers. They can get in the safe and everything. They can approve discounts, crew meals, stuff like that. Then you have your DMs, which are department managers. I know other restaurants and stuff have their DMs are called district managers, but we have 4 DMs for each store, so they're called department managers, and they manage over a department. We have the guest service manager. Their job is, I still don't know what. I've been there almost 5 years, and they get more money and just as much responsibilities as any shift manager. Like, they say that they're the ones that hang up like all the POP stuff, which for you that don't know, POP is basically like the signs and stuff that's either outside or on the windows and stuff. And I don't even see her do that. And when I mean her, I mean Hannah. Then you have your kitchen manager, which I love our kitchen manager. Our kitchen manager is great. But what she does is she's not Hannah. She just does counts, orders truck, and stuff like that. Then we have the people manager, which you all guys will know as the hiring manager. He basically does the interviews, he accepts applications, does schedule for crew, and that's pretty much it. Then you have the store manager, the GM, and what she's in charge of is literally everything else. Like, she does manager schedules, she approves vacation time, she approves raises for crews, but she can only do it by up to so much, without needing approval from the owner. And she does manager schedule. But yeah, anything that doesn't get done by any of the... Oh, well, fuck. They took my bike. Okay, but anyways,
You forgot.
that's all the managers and everything. So, with that being said, we need to set the scene. Okay? So, me and someone else, it was one of the zones, were getting in an argument, and I want to tell you this, I'm not one of the most liked people there. I'm kind of a cynical asshole, but that's because it's like I know how things are supposed to be done, and if I have to work with somebody who doesn't give a shit, then I'm like, well, guess what? I don't give a fuck about you. So, anyways, we're having this like huge argument and everything, and I basically made fun, like, no, she said, there's a reason why you're not, why you lost your zone manager position. And I was basically also complaining about, you know, why I was only getting paid like 30 cents over minimum wage. But anyway, because at that time I was there for about 4 years. Not even going on 5 yet. I was getting ready to go on 4 years. And there were people that were there less than I have, and they were making more than me. And I was pissed off. But anyway, then Hannah comes in. She was like, well, what's the problem? I was like, well, I was just, complaining about, how I, make like 30 cents over minimum wage, and then there's like all these people that are coming in, and they're getting, better positions than me, and they're making more money than me. And she was like, well, do you know how I got to where I am? And I literally look her like dead in the eye, and I told her, because you're good at one thing I'm not, and that's kissing ass. And one of the other managers, not an actual DM, just a shift manager, she came up to me and she's like, I know that you're just joking, but you can't be talking to her like that. She was like, like you have to treat your managers with respect and stuff like that. And I was like, well, when she earns my respect, I'll talk to her with respect. But she still hasn't earned it. And I wasn't even joking anyways. She is like a huge ass kisser. Like when I go and I like do compliments and stuff, I'll do it like sarcastically. Like when somebody does like a very simple task, like let's say I don't know, dropping McChicken correctly. And I'll be like, oh yay, good job. But stuff like that. And if I do something that, if I want it to seem like I'm ass kissing, I'll basically go up and I'll be like, and I'll just like say, hey GM, and I'll be like, so you're looking thin today, and just like little like shitty compliments like that. I use the GM as an example. I don't do that with her, just due to the fact that I have this whole scenario set up where anytime I see her, I ask her how her sister's doing, because her sister is a store manager at a different McDonald's here in the city. I have siblings. I know what it's like being compared to them. But anyways, and it's just stuff like that. And the GM sat me down after all that happened, and she also said, listen, I know you're probably just joking. No, I wasn't. I looked at her and I was just shaking my head no. But she said that I can't talk to her like that, and I was like, alright. I was like, fine, whatever, I don't give a shit. Because trust me, I really didn't. Hannah is, and if she's watching this, hi Hana, is the stupidest bitch you will ever meet. But anyway, did the whole spiel, you know, can't talk to her like that, blah 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 this, blah blah that. You know, stupid bullshit like that. And that was pretty much it. It seemed like I was supposed to apologize to her about the entire thing, but I didn't, and I still haven't, and I'm not going to.
You told him you're fucking idiot.
Do I think she's an ass kisser? Yes. Am I going to apologize for calling her an ass kisser? No. Will I regret calling her an ass kisser? I don't give a shit. Trust me, I'm like the least respected person there. So when it comes to everything like that, I don't really care. Like, I get barked at for coming in like a few minutes late. And this happens like maybe once in a while. Like maybe like once every month or every other month. And it's only by like a few minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that. But we have this one person that's been working there for quite a while now. And he is late every single day. And the only time he's not late is if they schedule him at 6 and he comes in after 5, just a little after 5. He only works till 11 too. Just so
Don't ask.
he works long enough to get a break. And there's actually one time where he was actually directly on time. And the reason for that was the day before he was told that if he was late again, he would be suspended. So literally all we have to do is keep threatening to suspend the guy and he'll come in on time. But like nobody gives a shit. He was threatened to be suspended once. And me, I've been there about 4 years, still haven't been as late as he has. Like that 4 years, he's been late more times last month than I have in that entire 4.5 years. But anyway, nobody talks to him. He's been threatened to be suspended once. And me, I've been fired once. I've been threatened to be suspended about 3 or 4 times. And it's like, seriously? And people say that there is no favoritism. Like, all the managers say there's no nepotism. But trust me, there is. You know what? I'm going to stretch this out a little bit longer. I'm going to tell you about another person I work with, and we're going to call her Sam. Now Sam is the child, and the reason I said child is because Sam can be used as either a girl's name or a guy's name. So, is a child of the store manager. Well, store manager also made her well, I said it, fuck it. It's a she. It's the store manager's daughter. But anyways, made her a zone manager, which basically is just, you know, what I talked about. A little bit of fake artificial power and manager numbers, and that's it. It's the best shift. And when I mean like the best shifts, I mean like the earliest she comes in is, I think, 7 or 8 o'clock. The latest she comes in is 9. She has Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays off. And she only works till 3. And now why that's a big deal is because she'll start prep, which is just basically getting stuff ready, at 2. Because then, you know, at like 3 she can leave. That's if she's done with her prep. But if she gets done with her prep before then she can leave. And she always leaves like a good 15 minutes to 30 minutes early. Like, I don't mean like every once in a while, I mean like all the time. which after you do prep for so long, you're able to get things out quickly. You're able to look and go, okay, this is what I need and everything like that. But she doesn't even do it right. Like, we have to make pans of shredded lettuce, slivered onions, dehydrated onions. We have to make sure we have enough tomatoes. The table stocked. We have to make fresh beef, pans of cheese. And then make sure they have enough dehydrates ready for tomorrow, because those things, even though they're good for 24 hours, they have to set in the walk-in for an hour before they can be used. But yeah, and she won't make fresh beef. She won't make enough cheese. She won't make enough lettuce, and we go through lettuce because we have the McChicken and the hot spicy chicken, and those things are like cheap. Like, the McChicken itself is like $1, and the hot spicy is like, I think, $1.19.
Hey, it.
But yeah, and she never gets rolled up. And if you think, oh well, maybe that's just because, you know, it's always the whole, you know, oh, I forgot and stuff like that. No, I do afternoon prep too, and yeah, sometimes we do forget stuff, but there have been times that I have been written up for not doing something, and it's stuff that sometimes I actually legitimately do forget. Like, I will sometimes forget to make sure that they have pies and cookies before I leave, and it's just one of those things that I don't think about. And there have been times I've been wrote up for not putting pies and cookies in before I left, and not doing enough fresh beef, or not doing enough cheese pans, not doing enough lettuce, even though I did a lot of lettuce and they should be fine. But I've been still wrote up for it, and she never gets wrote up because none of the night managers want to write her up, because they go, well, it's no point because her mom's just going to throw it away. Which I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And not even the DMs, like any of the DMs will write her up. She literally has like the best shift and immunity from being wrote up. As long as she doesn't do something like extremely stupid, she'll have that job forever. And then she can keep getting raises and stuff because of the fact that, you know, she comes in all the time on time, and she's never been wrote up. But yeah, so we're going to end it off here. I mean, I've been recording this for about almost 40 minutes, and I've been hitting every goddamn thing in existence. And I feel like it's natural that we end off exactly where we ended off last time. So yeah, with all this stuff talked about, like McDonald's and stuff, why don't you guys go ahead and tell me, what's your favorite thing to order from McDonald's? And if you're all new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I would love a new addition to our wonderful community. And if you all like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, you know? I mean, it was a pretty good video, I would say so myself, with some pretty good stories. And you gotta watch me get shot, crash into everything, whether moving or stationary. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.